Mic test, mic test, mic test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing the mic test. I'm gonna transition in and I'm gonna swap out headset. Is this working? Does this microphone work? It sure does. Okay. Good lord. It sounds like the fan isn't getting picked up either, which is good. It's hotter as all holy hell in San Francisco all the time anymore. Let me cut this headset off. All right. Turn on a light. Well, howdy, folks. Welcome back to another, whatever you call this thing. Oh, man. Let's get chat going. I'm going to vote for a little brown skink. I actually can't because I can't scroll this. I can't scroll this thing up on this little tiny phone, and I can't make it go away. Let me pop it out and turn it sideways. Jesus Christ. So I can close the damn chat. Oh my God. Why won't it go away? Close poll. And it's still not closed. It's still there. Close poll. Oh my God. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Welcome folks. Been having a lot of technical difficulties at the last second trying to get this stream up and going. Welcome another Nate. Your love for the blue-tailed skink, not unseen. Welcome Tyler Stembridge. Welcome RFD Hobby. Good day to you indeed. Howdy TechnoRTN. Boo to YouTube and the anti-ad blocking policy. I don't know if any of y'all have seen this aggressive stance that they're taking, but it is awful. It is quite awful. If it weren't for my attempting to, make a living on YouTube, I'd stop using YouTube. It's downright despicable behavior. Just a reminder that the FBI recommends using an ad blocker to prevent yourself from malicious scams and malware. And YouTube says, no. You have to subject yourself to false information and Joe Rogan if you want to use our platform. F in chat for YouTube. It's on its way out. How do I do this? I hit that and I put F in chat. Well, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I'm going to try to get a little work done on the skink. I should have worked on it yesterday. I'm way behind. I'm worried that I'm going to have to shoot a shameful message over to Pega and be like, hey, I'm a negligent person. And I did not get work done. But we got to get this done. We got to get this little skinky boy done. And if y'all recall from last time around, we got skin, we got scales, we got feathers, and the frill, and the cloak, and a bunch of stone done. So I think it's time to start building back up some of the colors we lost. So I think what I want to do to start out is hit this rock with a little bit of a wash and then we can work on the staff and the gold here before going back to this here boy. All right, so for that, I think we're gonna want a little bit of Agrex Earthshade, and that Agrex is, I don't know if that's showing up. I am very low on Agrex Earthshade. So it means a trip to the hobby store, to the gaming place, is probably on the agenda for the near future. But of course, you know that means I have to go outside and interface with the public, which I'm not looking forward to. I've been enjoying my solitude lately, y'all. Okay, so to get started, I want a little more contrast brought back to this stone. We lost a lot of it actually with the dry brushing. Kind of undid some of the work with the contrast paint. So to build that back up, I want to get some Agrex Earthshade into all these little crevices. I'm not sure what's going to go on with these recesses. I think they're going gold. So we'll not worry about them too much. But all the cracks and the fun little details need some more contrast. So for that, let's show the camera some Agrex Earthshade. Let's put some on the palette. I'm thinking 5 drops. And then get out a paper towel. We're gonna put some water in it. Technortian, should I just use regular old super glue to put together the D&D party you sent? Yeah, I recommend super glue for metal models. It's generally the best. If you want a little bit of flexibility on larger joins, like if you're going to glue the bases if you're going to glue the metal bases to plastic bases, I do recommend you busting out a little bit of your B7000 and using a little bit of both the B7000 and the super glue. But as far as the small models go, the super glue should be fine. Horse paste. You should use horse paste. Horse paste is like the predecessor to PVA, right? Like, that's ancient glue. I don't think that works. I think horse paste is organic, right? So it's gonna degrade over time. All right, so we're gonna start with a little bit of our Agrex Earthshade. We got a 5 drops of the Agrex to 1 drop of water. Gonna put a little bit of thinning into it, but not much. And we're gonna bust back out our old and worn 3-round brush. I guess it's not coming through on the camera. And we're gonna just, apply it to... We're gonna use a similar technique to the one we used in the Textures with Edna video. So I'm gonna just kind of slapdash, haphazardly apply it to this surface, and I'm going to grab my paper towel immediately and dab off most of it. And actually, it looks like I'm going to struggle with that because it's such a shallow detail. So let's try again, and then this time we're just going to wipe it quickly. And the idea is to try and prevent the staining on the surfaces. Oh my god, I just wiped off a whole bunch of paint. What? Why? Why would it? Why? Fucking A. Alright, I guess, PSA, if your primer is if your primer is not working as expected, maybe don't use it, because it just did not prevent paint from being rubbed off. And I just, with one clean swipe of my paper towel, I took this model through the primer to the bare plastic. So now, instead of doing what I was going to do, we're going to take a little bit of our medium sea gray and apply it. Oh my god, this whole project is scuppered if it's going to perform like this. Did I mention I hate painting? Did I ever mention to y'all that I actually hate painting? The process of painting, I hate it. I hate it so much. I know some people use it as like a meditative exercise, and they relax and they paint and they have a good time. I hate it. I hate the process of painting. It sucks. And it especially sucks when something like this happens. And the reason this is so bad. Alright, so this whole piece here has been developed with dry brushing over the entire surface. So now I have a little hole in it, and I'm going to have to carefully mix colors and try to match the colors and the texture that we developed with dry brushing on this little patch that just got ruined. And I hate it. And I'm very not pleased. So let's pivot and just forget what I just said about the Agrex Earthshade, because we can't do that on this project. And instead, we're going to do this without any washes. Or anything that involves wiping or you know, potentially damaging marks on the model because my primer didn't work. This speaks to good primer. Invest in good primer that works. In my case, I think what's happened is this Stynylrez primer has sat in an Amazon warehouse for 30 years and has separated out to the point that it's basically unusable because it's not reconstituting properly. I should have known when I primed the model and it had like a shiny feel to it. That looks awful. Alright, so instead what we're going to do is we're going to get out our Mornfang Brown and we're going to repaint all the brown bits that got covered up by the dry brushing. You know, I think I might make this episode about how listening to discussions in chat will fuck up your model. I blame Pega for saying dry brush. And speaking of Pega, I just sent over some footage today for the collaborative video. So we should have something fun coming out mutually on each other's channel. Tyler says it will never be the same. Yes, you're absolutely right. It will never be the same. Not at all. Alright, so instead, another Nate says how not to paint a model. That is correct. This is indeed how not to paint a model. Alright. Or, I guess it's more accurately me pretending to know what I'm doing. Alright, so instead we're working with Mornfang Brown, and we're just gonna base coat in all these vines that have already painted once, but got covered over by the dry brushing. Yeah. I might have to include a bit in the final video about this is what your model would look like if you just use contrast paints. Or I could just gloss over that and, you know, pretend like it never happened. It's probably the better direction to take it anyways. But the deadline is screaming in my mind, and it's time to paint. And sometimes your hand seizes up and makes your paint hand go all over the model. I don't know if y'all saw that just now, but my joint locked up and made my hand miss. Boy, oh boy. It has been a bad day. Beard is bread. Paint with bread. Stop eating your paint. Well, I'd stop licking the brush if you could share with me a way in which I could remove the paint from the brush, moisturize the tip, and reshape it all in one fell swoop in about 0.3 seconds. Fast enough to remove the offending paint. Besides, if it was the paint causing neurological problems, they'd pull it off the market. It'd be marked in its material data safety sheets. My ear's itching like mad. Sorry. Okay, so here we are, painting what we've already painted before. And then we'll mix up some highlight colors and paint what we've already painted before. And we'll mix up some brighter highlight colors, and then we'll paint what we've already painted before. Essentially making all my efforts with the contrast paint so far moot. Because we're just covering over. Case in point, how to not use contrast colors. Wait, hold on. I think Tyler is just disturbing excrement. Hold on a second. Did you just call Tyler excrement? It's time to paint. Paste the paintbow. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Fun times here in the hobby corner. Actually, I do not feel like painting today whatsoever. But I don't have a choice. Because I should have painted yesterday. And, well, I didn't feel like painting then either. So I took yesterday to not paint. And now, got a deadline screaming in the back of my mind that, hey, you should have had this model painted a month ago. Which is not inaccurate. A month ago is about right. So let's see if we can get caught up and work on this thing quickly and, you know, make it look half presentable. So we're gonna go back around all these fun little root details to get us started. All right, that's one root basically base coated. Base coated good enough. All these little vines that wrap around it we'll leave to paint them green. And yeah, I think I'll try to limit the highlights on this. We'll do like 2 layers to you know, make it visually interesting, but not spend a million hours working on it. This is actually a intensely detailed model. As I say quite often about GW models, they are covered in details as opposed to other better brands of models that are more detailed. Although I think in this modern era of 3D generated sculpts, or digitally sculpted models, I should say, the details are absurd. So at least 3/4 ass rather than half. Yes, I think that's about where I live, is 3/4 ass. Good place to be. Depends on the color. What's the best butt color? Red butts. Bright red monkey butts. Best butt. Other than that, just match your skin tone, whatever you're working on. Maybe use a little bit of red in there to suggest blood flowing underneath the skin, give it a little vivacity, or, you know, pump that up to 11 and give it a freshly spanked look. Get a little bit of that hint of red in there, much in the way you mix a little bit of pinkish red into fingertips and knuckles and noses. Yeah, I think whatever color you're working with, painting your butts, mix a little bit of red in there. Suggestion of life. I suppose you could get away with something similar on a undead model if you mixed in a little bit of like a deep purple. You get the same effect, only it's more like a bruise type tone, or like I don't know, a kind of a cool shade to it instead of warmth. I'll have to think about that sometime soon whenever I get around to the to the Titania model, or Titania's butt may be mostly covered. Now that I think about it, I've got some Limbo Division models, but I really don't think they're appropriate for the stream, for the channel. I've got some that are okay. I'm kind of torn about it because I want to paint them up, and I think people would want to see them, but I think it would also alienate some portion of the community. Maybe not. A blushing butt. Yes, another Nate. And that is a way to put it. Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're going for. You want your butt blushing. Go jaundice and throw some yellow shades. I mean, do you really want a sickly looking butt? I guess it would work. Let's say you're painting like a Nurgle Plague Bearer. I could see a yellow butt there working. But no, even those. Get some pinks in there. Get some purples and some reds. Even if you got like that jaundiced, pale flesh, rotting tones, put a little sexy on that butt. It goes a long way. Yeah. Do I need to do a butt painting stream now? Like just full on. We're painting butts today, and nothing but butts. All about the butt. Is that a little too on the nose? I think it's incorrigible. But not totally out of the question. Infinity is kind of well known for having lots of care given to the sculpting of the butts. Blue and purple butts. Very pale, blushy butt. She? What she are we talking about? Titania? I don't actually have the model on hand to examine it. I sent my current printed copy in a care package to another YouTuber. Do have some ridiculous butts though. Here. I'm gonna grab things. My headset fell down. I just finished another print of a couple models from Limbo Division that are definitely butt heavy. So this is Hannah Sharp. Definitely very, very generous cheeks there. And then I can't remember this character's name. It's very Japanese, but she is all butt. They could be fun models to paint up on the stream. But I think once I open the door to painting these models, I'm accepting a certain amount of thirst and a certain amount of cringe on the channel. But I'm okay with it. I mean, obviously I own the models, but they could be fun. We might do a butt stream. Let's not rule it out. Might have to do a poll and see who has the best butts for painting. Okay, so we've just about gone around all the brown I need to build back up. Just about. And then I think we'll do 2 different colors of brown. We'll do one color for the roots, and then one color for the horns. I'll try to film a little bit of it. And in the meantime, I'll be thinking about how to recover these gold bits. I'm wondering if I need to just paint them straight gold now with my, what is that color called? I've got a gold up here, and it looks very separated, but it's auric armor gold. Some drawfee wisdom. Don't kill the part of you that's cringe. Kill the part of you that cringes. Yeah. I think that's pretty solid advice, actually. I mean, what's the worst that could happen if I painted up some thirsty models on the channel? I just become the channel that paints thirsty models and lose that battletech thing? I don't think it's possible. I think there's probably a fairly solid crossover between the thirsty and the battletech enjoyer. Case in point, Canopian Cat Girls. All right. So we got this brown. Plenty of overlap. Yeah. Makes sense to me. Here, let me pop this feller out. How do I set this to a full screen preview? No, that's not correct. There we go. All right, and I should be able to see what the camera sees now, at least decently. I was watching a little bit of the VOD back from the last stream, and I noticed there were some parts that the camera just refused to focus. I will eventually upgrade this webcam. Have something a little better. But, you know, money. So, you know. It's going to take a little more community building, a little more shilling, and a few more sales on the commissions and the Threadless store. Speaking of Threadless store, got a new t-shirt design live just in time for the spoopy season. I think they're on sale right now for $14. Furthermore, if you're a member of the Country Fried Minis community, you can get all t-shirts at my cost. I've also put a few fine art prints up of some of my favorite shots. We've currently got a detail macro shot of the AC-20 on my urban mech, and then a shot of the big hunchback firing its weapon. Fine art prints up to like, I think they go up to 32 by 40 inches. Framed, unframed, and stretched canvas. I really love that Threadless makes those options available. Definitely beats sourcing a printer and spending a ton of money to get together a whole bunch of inventory and storing it. Like, the profit that you get over a threadless sale would be lost in some of the other elements. But yeah, we got fun products. Be putting stuff up all the time. Sometimes it'll be Country Fried Minis related. Sometimes it'll just be fun art. You could even do some bubblegum suits for Thirsty and Mech all in one model. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, another Nate. I actually have that very video in my backlog queue of videos to do. I found a nice sculptor who did all four of the girls from... I can't remember if it was Crisis or Clash, but I've got them, and yes, that is a planned video. The Bubblegum Girls. They have nice bases. They have nice detail. We'll probably print them out in 75mm scale. Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, so now that we've got that brown on, I'm going to grab a little bit of my sea gray, medium sea gray, with the Ushabti bone and try to recover some of this color here. And I'm going to do that by stippling so we get a little variation in the application. Oh, it looks so bad. Just fucking ruined the model. It's fine. Proof I'm psychotic. Maybe just a little bit. Alright, so we're going to grab a little more Ushabti bone. We're going to put it on the palette here. And then we're going to take our mix and create a intermediate color. And go back and hit it, stipple it again. And I think what we can do here to try and compensate for the color difference is to just like push the highlights on this whole thing. On this whole edge right here, I mean. So it's kind of not working super great. Sucks real bad. And then we'll go another layer deep with the Ushabti bone. Same deal, just doing it in a stippling motion to get some uneven application. And hopefully, you know, hide that this ever happened. We'll take a straight Ushabti bone and use the side of our paintbrush to put a real sharp edge highlight on it. Maybe another one right here. Real gently. Yeah. I mean, it's good enough. And that's what this channel is all about. Good enough is good enough. Okay. Back on to our little skinky boy. I think I want the staff in wood. I think that would look pretty good. I'm seeing a spot inside that armpit too while I'm looking at it that don't look great. So yeah, let's hit that with some brown. I'm actually kind of envisioning a jade green kind of color for it, but I think that would take longer than this basic approach. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. We'll do this brown. Do like a wooden staff. And then we'll put some gold bits on it. And then... looks like I missed some stuff with the snakebite leather. So we should just revisit that here in a bit. Inside of the staff here, the grip needs a little bit. That needs a little bit. We can probably go back over all of these things again with the snakebite and build back up that like hint of gold. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so next up, we want to start lightening the brown. And I think we're going to use Baylor Brown. Get like a nice yellowy tone to it. Although I start to say that, and I think that might not work because I'm going to be going gold. So if the brown is too yellow, it'll kind of blend in with the gold. So instead, let's go with let's go with ivory. And get that mixed into it. We'll go with like a pale desaturated wood instead of the other option. I guess the other option would be to mix in some Howlite ochre, which is kind of orangey hue. I think that might actually work. Yeah, let's try that. Just don't want it to go too yellow, because the Auric Armor Gold is very, very yellowy, almost like a greeny gold, yellow-green. So we'll go with the Howlite ochre. I think that's reasonable. I think it's also very separated, so we're about to... I suppose this shows you how much love I have for my GW paints. You know, not much. Vallejo is superior. Dropper bottles are better. Never have to deal with this in a dropper bottle. Hell, you can even put a stirring ball in your droppers. Let's get this Howlite ochre reconstituted. Okay. Woof. Not making much progress very quickly at all. Alright, so once again, we're going to show the paint to the camera. I'm going to pull over our palette. Put a good dollop of it down. Give the two a nice mix. And generally, I like to start my mixes on the border zone between the two colors. And that way you can get a good feel of the intermediary color that you'll be using. And I think this little patch of it's just about right. So we'll use that mid-tone right there. And we're going to get back out our big old chunk and base. And just start putting this on everywhere except for the deepest crevices. It's okay to work real fast here. It doesn't have to be super neat. If you've got any measure of brush control, then it's trivial even to get it where you want it. We're just going to go around this boy and put it everywhere except for the deepest cracks. The deepest cracks, areas that are butted up to another bit of detail, you know, basic layering stuff. We're not going to worry about the horns right now because those are going to be definitely done in a very desaturated bone type color. But all these bits we just base coated with the Mornfang brown are now going to get the Mornfang and Towlight ochre mixture. Let's swap this setting. There we go. BoxFox Scoot says I was here. Welcome, welcome, BoxFox Scoot. I had a feeling that chat wasn't showing me everything because I had it set by default to top chat, which I don't know why anybody would use that. You miss so much of the good stuff. What YouTube considers top chat and what I consider top chat are two different things. I think it's all top chat. Also, I'm very interested to see... Oh, I was just going to say... BoxFox Scoot says goodnight. Well, thanks for stopping by. I was just going to say I'm looking for... looking to see if the Nightbot is working, and it looks like it is now. Although I've got some grammatical errors I need to correct there, it appears. Need a space between that exclamation point and the link. But yeah, after last stream, Pega sent me a screenshot of how to mess with the Nightbot. And I found there's some really fun settings to have it do more than admonish people for using capitals. Anyhow, good to know it's working. We're making our way around with the... Would I call this a 50-50 mix? Not quite. It's about a 70-30 or 60-40 blend of the Mornfang brown to Towlight ochre. And I think it is orange enough that it will make a nice contrast against the gold. Hopefully. If not, oh well. It's good enough. And again, we're working with a 2-round brush here. It's got a nice sharp tip and is small enough to get fine details, while also having a fat enough belly to hold a fair amount of paint and let you You not have to dip every stroke. It's real easy to assume that you want a tiny, tiny brush when you're mini painting. And they're fine. They do great. They put the details on correctly, but the downside of using something small like a 5.0 or a 3.0 or even a 20.0 liner is you're just going to have to dip it back in the paint in between every stroke. It's already bad enough with this 2 brush, but at least I can get paint on, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 surfaces before I have to redip. Now, it's coming along nicely. Yeah, seems Nightbot automation's working. Yeah. It should spam stuff for folks. That way I don't have to shill quite so hard. I'd rather shill for people who show up, honestly. It's been a few streams where folks have stopped by who have their own channels, and I support that kind of stuff. I think it's important for folks in the chat to know about cool channels to see. Okay. We're attacking this brown with kind of an incomplete coating, starting from the top down. There's a little bit of artistic interpretation in it, in the approach. You know, there's no hard rules to the shading. Just, you know, trying to get the brighter colors where they'd be, where it makes sense, where it wants to be. I would go as far as to say that there's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. But that is not true when it comes to mini painting. You can absolutely make mistakes. Dire ones. Alright. Got a little more warmth and depth to the brown here. Let's continue that trend on the staff here. Another Nate says, smallest brush I own is a 3.0. Can't imagine needing anything littler. 3.0 generally is kind of my go-to for tiny work. I like a 20.0 for dotting eyes, and that's about it. The 20.0 is really good for that because it's got that nice, exceedingly sharp point and very, very small, but like that's pretty much all I use it for. The smallest dots of color. Else it's just, it doesn't hold enough paint. Alright. And speaking of 3.0, I'm going to get out my 3.0 here. Go to the camera. And continue the trend of putting color on. And this time we're going to kind of apply it in broad vertical strokes. And when we put the lighter color, hopefully we'll have established a little bit of texture on this staff. Although the top of it doesn't really seem to have enough room to achieve the effect. So we're just gonna hit it as per the norm. All right. Cool. Now we want to make an even lighter version of the last tone we did, and this here puddle, yeah, I think it'll work. I was worried that there wasn't enough there, but it seems wet enough to get the job done. All right, now we've got probably a 60-40 mix in the other way around. Ooh, okay, so best way to directly support my channel, it's popping up too quick. That's far too quick, Nightbot. I'm gonna have to adjust that. Here, I'll do it after this. I'd use a toothpick or a pen if I just wanted a dot. I've seen that technique before. I watched my dad paint a camo pattern on a mech using a toothpick to do the little black dots, and it looked pretty cool. Might have to give it a try myself. So I do prefer the brush. Okay, so we're going back over the same brown once more, painting the same thing again. And then we're going to favor the sharpest points of detail. We really want to leave some of that previous color showing where we can. Damn, I'm so tempted to want to ink wash or oil wash this. I wonder if I could get away with that towards the end if we hit it with a nice thick coat of gloss varnish first. Do a bit of a dark brown oil wash. Let it dry, pull it off, and then hit it with a flat varnish over top. I think it could look all right. Oh, Nightbot, you're disappointing me. Fired. I think what I gotta do is pump up the amount of chat messages in the limiter. Basically, you can set it up to say things at a certain time interval if a certain number of chat messages have gone. It'll start the timer. I need to pump the number up. So I think once I get this color applied, I'll take a 2-minute break and drink a little water and head over to the Nightbot control panel and get that fixed. That way it doesn't keep spamming you. Making decent progress on this brown. Getting it layered up. Looking kind of nice. Decent at least. And that's good enough. I think it could probably benefit from a touch of the Tau Light Ochre. Just pure on it here in a bit. But I want to fix that. I want to fix that chat spam while I'm thinking about it. While it's fresh in my mind. All right. So a little bit in here. Make it a green-brown wash. Really emphasize the dank nature of his forest home. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. And you know, I do have the dirty down moss stuff to work with. So that could be a really fun thing to incorporate into this project. I think I will. All right, so continue almost. Want a little bit of that same highlighting effort on this feller's staff. Trying to put streaks of it that originate at the top and come down towards the bottom. And then the top I established was a little too small for the effect. So we're going to focus this color right up underneath that ornamentation and try to feather it down a little bit. Not much, just a touch. All right, let me go fix Nightbot and I'll be right back. How do I do... Close that, and then we go to the BRB screen and hit the button. I think I got that sorted out. Yeah, I realized I set the Patreon spam command to 2 lines instead of 20. Let's do an audio test. Sounds okay to me. That is not what I pressed. The headset said microphone off, and I didn't press the microphone button. I pressed the power button. Alright, let's set this back to full screen projector. That way I can see what I'm looking at. Also got a little bit of water. Hydrate up. Okay, where were we? So we've done Mornfang Brown, and then 60-40 Mornfang to Towlight Ochre. Then we've done 60-40 Towlight Ochre to Mornfang Brown, and I think now what we want to do is a little bit of just straight Towlight Ochre. So once again, we'll show this to the camera. Gonna grab a little bit of it and just plop it down. And this is the GW Air color. So I think personally that the air colors they're just about fine to use without thinning them. So we're not gonna worry about thinning it here. That said, it is just a very small application of it. If I was using more, I'd probably thin it down. But I'm just gonna tickle the tips of the sharpest points that have the 60-40 mix from before. A little bit here and there. And, you know, I'm sure this isn't exactly coming through all that great on the camera there, but I'll try to do some nice HD photographs for the video. Post them to the Discord as well. But this stuff just, you know, less is more, a little here and there. Doesn't need to be every edge highlighted. You know, GW box art would have you thinking that, but I don't think it's super necessary, especially for a section like this that's on the back of the model. Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there, there, you know, find those raised areas, and anywhere that strikes your fancy, give a little bit of the highlight tone on it. And if you make a mistake, yeah, who cares? It's nature. And nature ain't perfect. In fact, if you try to paint up natural looking things with any semblance of order, it immediately starts looking unnatural. A little too much there. Clean that off real quick before it sets. All right. Huh. Here and there and everywhere. Round and around we go. You know, I don't really know exactly how I feel about this model at this point. Whether I love or hate it. I think maybe the whole working on a deadline feeling isn't great for it. I could see taking a lot longer to paint this model. It'd be a great, like, multi-week project to really get in there and detail up the bits. Take your time. Put some fancy highlights on all the little textured bits. But, you know, that doesn't exactly work for content. Not at all, I don't think. You know, I say that, but Night Shift does fantastic dioramas that take multiple weeks to finish. Might be worth experimenting some point in the future. Painting a single model over the course of multiple weeks and multiple episodes. Talking about the steps involved. Alright, I think we're just about done with this brown, as much as I want to work on it. Looks good to me. Got some, you know, variation in the color. Got some highlighted areas. Some darks and some lights and some believability to its dimensionality. I think that's good. Let's go over to the staff again. Alright, so once again, staff is just getting light streaks of this light color. Trying to suggest a hint of wood grain to it. Hard to do. I could use a thinner brush. I guess this is a case in point of when you might want a 20-0 liner for this type of application, because it would hold just enough paint to do that one stroke. But yeah, it's good enough. Put a little bit top. One all around. And we're done with brown. As far as I can tell, at least. Who's next? What color's next? I think we want to reapply snakebite leather. And I'm not going to film this bit. And, you know, as soon as I say that, I see some roots that got missed. So let's real quick fix that with my 2 brush here. Moments like this are case in point as to why a wet palette's so nice. If I had a dry palette, this Mornfang brown would be long dried out and unusable. but because I have a wet palette, I'm able to grab the color and apply it to where I've missed stuff. Alright, now we want that medium tone. I guess this is more of like a wet blendy approach. We want the next tone down. And then we want the straight tau light ochre. A little tippy there. And a tippy there. Tap of it right there. All right. Good enough. What was I doing? Oh yeah, snakebite leather. Let's reestablish that color from before with our 2 rounds fine. Plop it on the palette. Okay, now this time the snakebite leather is just to kind of inform the areas that I'm gonna want to paint gold. Instead of a base tone, we're just you know, I guess it is a base tone. It's kind of a base tone. But this is that South American style aesthetics. Is it Aztec or Incan? I think it's Aztec. Maybe a little bit of both influence there. I'm sure there's some cultural overlaps between the two societies. I am ill-informed, but I do know that gold was a thing. It's part of why the Spanish committed such genocides on those people. So, for that, we want to work with gold. And I think a good brown base tone is how to get that gold we're after. You know, I'm sitting here thinking too, I wonder if it would work to just hit these sections with the metal paint first. And then use that trick we did on the Armored Core video to save time. I think I'm going to do that and pivot and take that approach. I think it'll look a lot better in the long run. Yeah, let's do it. Inca, Aztec, Inca, and Olmec are all hard to tell apart. Yeah. There's definitely like regional overlaps too. For what, Aztec and Olmec? I don't know. I am but an idiot. I know a few things, but that ain't one of them. So I think what we'll do is we're going to use this super bright Vallejo metal color duraluminum. Or maybe even, I think I have an army painter color that would work really well for this. It's gunmetal. How bright is it? It could work. It could work. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to use this Army Painter color just to do something a little different. So, we're going to show it to the camera. Do 2 of those. We're going to find a spot on our wet palette that's not gunked up. Put a big old dollop. We're going to go to town putting silver on this model. May even need a drop of water. I think it's alright though. Haven't used this in a hot minute, probably in about a year. So it definitely seems like it's thickened up a little bit. But it seems to be painting on smooth without any clotting of detail. So I'm just going to not question it. And I'm going to apply my silver paint. I think part of the reason I'm thinking that I want to use the Army Painter is that the Vallejo metal colors are really flowy. And I'm concerned that on these sections where we have roots kind of touching the metal, that capillary action will draw the metallic up onto the roots. So this decision is partially informed by precision. I was thinking I was going to do like a full highlight thingamabob on the silver color, but who's got time for that? I definitely don't. Not on this project. It'll be a nice talking point during the video as well. Changing your mind. Taking a different tact. Choosing a different color. Repainting crap you've already done. Actually, that's come up multiple times, so I think that might be a significant subtext to the video. Correct a little error I made. Back to the silver. This is once again just all the work being done with this 2-round. Nice and sharp tip. Full body. Holds a lot of paint. Holds a lot of moisture. Does what I tell it to. I can't remember exactly which one of the big painting channels turned me on to using big sharp brushes, but it's definitely a good tip. All right. I've used this Army Painter gunmetal a few times now, and it's been a very pleasing experience every time. Not quite as good as the Vallejo metal colors, but a good time nonetheless. Big recommend. I don't even remember where I got it. I may have bought it individually at the game store. Had to have, actually. Sounds like advice you'd only get from Brent. You know, it's likely that it come from Brent. I was actually just looking at his channel today. Keep talking about this class I'm in, the professional studio process and professional practices or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the class, but we've got to give a presentation tomorrow, actually, on other artists' online presence. And because my focus in the class is on the YouTube channel, like developing the portfolio and making a well-rounded professional experience and presence, I've chose to focus on a few other YouTubers to present. So I went through Ninjon, Dana Howell, and Goobertown Hobbies to talk about how their web presence is set up, and the focus of my presentation is that about making a multi-layered community presence between the YouTube page and Patreon, whether or not you post to Instagram, if you have other socials, if you have your own website, etc. Looking forward to getting feedback from the rest of the class as well as the professor. It's always cool when your classes kind of intersect with your real life and you can utilize that knowledge. Okay. Alright, so we've got the panels around the base silvered. We're going to silver this thing out that I just painted in the snakebite leather. We're going to silver out all these keystone patterns. Let's see. Stop this recording. I got enough footage. I'm wondering if these symbols, these elevated symbols here, should be also done in gold, or if they should be a glowy color. Kind of leaning towards a glowing color, like the crystal on the end of that staff. It's actually CC Minis that turned me on to this technique. He did that that video about speed painting techniques. He did like some Necrons or something. Oh, we got some pan flutes. Oh man. I wonder if there are any pan flute models. I think the old Warhammer, like the regimental Warhammer, not Age of Sigmar, incorporated musicians in their regiments. You got like a musician and a banner bearer in your groups, and I'm pretty sure there is indeed a skink pan flute player out there somewhere. Okay. Bunch of silver there. We're gonna hit all these symbols too. And then hopefully, by the time I've gone around all this silver, the first few sections I've hit will be dry and ready for the reapplication of the snakebite leather. Continuing the trend of repainting the stuff we've already painted. I'm really pleased with this Army Painter. Where's it even at? Army Painter Gunmetal. It's a little thick, and it's been so long since I've used it that I can't remember if it's always that thick or if it's evaporated a little bit or something, concentrated while in storage. But it's got nice one coat coverage, and I'm applying it without thinning it out, and it's not clogging up the details at all. There were definitely satyr with flutes and ancient Warhammer. Satyr, that's for wood elves? I never actually played any of the old Warhammer. It was always 40k for me. Reminds me of those lizardmen we ran into in DCC. Oh, yeah. Man, that was a hell of an encounter. The party had just come off of some kind of adventure, and we stumbled onto like a full village of lizardmen. And one of the party wizards had like gone into parlay with them, and I can't remember exactly why, but basically the lizard men were like, all right, you got to do this thing for us, or you got to submit to us, or sacrifice a party member. I can't remember exactly what it was, but the wizard that went into parlay was like, nah, I don't like that. And, well, the lizard people did not like that he didn't like it and went hostile. And so we all of a sudden had an entire village of lizards on us, and it was definitely certain doom for the party. But DCC has this system where you can spell burn and burn stat points to pump up your magic. And our other party wizard, I think it was the other one, cast sleep and pumped the effect up so high that basically every creature within a certain number of kilometers fell into a deep magical slumber with no saves possible, and got us out of a jam. It was incredible. DCC best RPG, just by far. Other games don't even come close. Well, I don't think that's fair. Games come close, but DCC the best. Defo. So good. All right, so I think that's all the gold on this bit. Violence ensued. Yeah, I think the party went around and dispatched all of the unconscious lizards, and we threw them into a big pit at the center of the camp, if I recall correctly. That group of lizardmen were like either worshiping or like were their encampment was set up around this like giant piece of a statue that had water trickling down the mountain, like magical water. God, it's been so long ago. We had a good time with it. It was good times. It was COVID times, but it was really nice to like actually dedicate to playing some RPG. And we had this convenient pandemic keeping everybody from doing other stuff. It was a great campaign. I would absolutely love to do some more DCC, but it is so hard to get people to commit to long-term engagement with campaigns. One-offs are better for that regard, but the long-term campaign is so much more satisfying. Get your character development in, build some inter-party dynamics. Better time, in my opinion. All right, I think that silver is starting to clot up a little too much. It was nice, the only time I've done a long-term campaign and I had to DM. Yeah, you did a great job, though. Really sold me, for sure, on DCC as the superior game system. I shall always look back at that campaign fondly. We had some wacky stuff happen. Every boss that we encountered ended up getting one shot by some overpowered spell. That was insane. We had a few party deaths that were memorable. One of my characters had his head exploded by a psychic tree, which was not fun. I would have preferred to have lost the other one. Alright. Continue almost. We are now doing the same silver treatment to all the stuff I painted with snakebite leather before. This time I'm using my 3-round, and I've also put a drop of water in this paint to thin it out a bit. I'm really concerned about losing detail at the focal point, so I think it's better to hit it with this. Plus, I've already coated this with the snakebite leather, and I'm not painting over gray. So if we get areas of thin coverage, it'll just be brown underneath, which is what we're going for anyways. Okay. I think this brush is too big. The other head? No, the brain head. He died. He was dead. Pretty sure I rolled a 1 on a save. And that caused instant death instead of, like, just dice damage or something. I don't remember the specifics. I just remember that I died instantly and my head popped. And my character was dead. And this is Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's not no 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons where you just, you know, go up to the local healer and pay him 1,500 gold. No, you're dead. There are ways to avoid death, but generally, when your head is gone, that's all she wrote. Okay. I keep bumping this camera with my glasses. I don't mean to. Sorry about that. Okay. Silvering all this stuff up. This whole staff. Gonna do the mask, we'll do the necklace, we'll do the orb, all of it. Quite fun repainting shit you've already done. Only this time, well, you know, I started to say it's not due to a mistake this time. It is due to the same mistake I made on that other one. The dry brushing order of operations there. And deciding to change the way I'm doing colors on that piece has led to needing to repaint all this perfectly fine brown work here. It's fine. I'm not resentful. Just get a nice base coat of silver on it. And we'll hit it again with that snakebite leather. Just yellowy, browny kind of color. Creates a snakebite leather color on white. But on gold, I mean on silver, it creates a gold type color. It's translucent so that the shine of the mica flakes will still be seeable. Am I still in frame? I'm trying. Okay. Oh yeah, 2 characters that made more sense. Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, in so in Dungeon Crawl Classics, when you first start out, you do this thing called a funnel, which is a level 0 adventure. And basically everybody starts, you go into the adventure with the equivalent of like a commoner, a peasant. No special abilities. And they're all randomly generated. So a lot of them are crap. Sometimes you end up with 1 HP characters. And to compensate for that, you have a bunch of them. I think in our campaign we had 3 characters each, if I recall correctly. And the idea is, if you make it through the funnel, you get to pick one of your characters to become a level 1 adventurer. We did it a little different in that whoever you had when you made it out was who you had. And I made it out with 2 of my characters. And speaking of Dungeon Crawl Classics and the funnel, I am planning at some point to run a funnel for DCC. I'd like to play the same one I was a participant in for this campaign, the Sailors on the Starless Sea. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to include subscribers, channel members, etc., as people to jump in and enjoy the campaign. And if you die, you die. I'll have some more details about that as the new year approaches. Probably be early next spring, maybe. Not really sure yet. Definitely looking to revitalize Tabletop TTRPG Tuesday. But I want to do that after this semester. This one's been a killer. Just I can't quite hack doing the YouTube and art projects for the school at the same time. So that's why next week we're going to be streaming some kind of different art. Thinking I might even make a video on it to submit for submit alongside the piece for the gallery. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. Making some headway. It's very hard to thread the needle, but I don't think it's important. So when I look at the model from this angle, and I'm like looking through the little gap here between the arm and the body, I'm seeing some spots that are still white. But then you look at it from this angle and front on, and they're not visible. Plus, he's going to be glued in right there, so I think it's not a problem. Just leave that unpainted. Another Nate says you'd be down. Okay. I'll hit you up about it for sure. I think it is a matter of having the channel grow a little bit, getting the subscriber count up enough to have a good pool of people. I think we went into Sailors with like 16 characters or something. Oops, out of goops, need to need. Goops. You mean putty? You're still hobbying on stuff this evening? More work on your menagerie of cubes? Okay. I think that is pretty much all the surfaces silvered now. I see some thin spots here I want to fix. And they're looking shiny. They're looking all right. Details not too clotted. So that means it's time to turn this silver into gold with the application of snakebite leather. So we show the snakebite leather to the camera. Make sure it's aligned right. Show it to the camera. We'll pop it open and we'll drop some back in the other puddle of the stuff. All right. Try not to bump the camera. We'll show the camera our 2 round liner. And then we'll get this thing out. And we'll film a little bit of applying this fabulous yellowy brown color to the silver. It's almost got like it's a little too brown, I think. A little more brown than yellow. I don't think I like that. Debating on whether or not to switch to yellow. Accessory eye stalks, tongues, and tentacles. Oh yeah, I saw that last shot where you had all the tentacles on the table. Man, is that... Do I live with this? Do I just go with it? I might. I think I do. I think I'm going to just decide to live with my decision here. And we're going for a deeper, more brown gold than I was expecting. I thought the snakebite leather would be more yellow on the silver. I probably should have tested before committing. Oh well. It's fine. It looks fine. Might do a light edge highlight with a silver color. should have used the yellow color I have in the speed paint. It would have looked a little better, I think. It's fine though. Perfectly fine. Sometimes in life you make a mistake and you just gotta live with it. And sometimes in miniature painting, you make a mistake and could totally paint back over it, but instead you decide that it's good enough and you live with it. That's what we're doing here. Living with it. Fine. I'm okay with that. I could maybe highlight it with the Auric Armor Gold, now that I'm thinking about it. Put a little bit of that same kind of upper edge effect. Plus, you know, the snakebite leather is kind of the foundational color that I had originally intended for the vines anyways, or the roots. So it'll help blend these two color patches together. And if you didn't catch that just now, I'm licking my brush to remove the color to immediately correct a mistake I made while painting. Let me assure y'all that I do not just lick my brush for fun. It tastes bad. It is not a pastime for me. It is purely out of need in the moment. You know, that looks all right. It's passable. A little more brown than what Aztec gold would look like. But it's still, you know, it's shiny. It's gold. It's still, you can see the mica flake shine through the contrast stuff. Reflex. Licking my paintbrush out of reflex. I am known to do that as well. But in this moment, I swear, it was not out of reflex or enjoyment. It was to correct an error. You know, you got paint on the tip of the brush. It's just a little tiny bit, and you make a mistake. So you put the paintbrush to the tip of your tongue and suck off the little bit of paint that's there, and all of a sudden you have a clean, moistened brush, which you can go back and swipe away the mistake you made via capillary action, as long as you work quickly. And often I find that having to swap to another brush and wet it and hit it with a paper towel and all that stuff is too much time to go back and correct a mistake on the fly. So licking your brush is the superior way to clean your brush for these applications. At least when you're correcting mistakes. Again, I'm not telling y'all to lick your brushes. I'm also not telling y'all to not lick your brushes. And if you are a brush licker, I understand why you do it. Know that you are not alone, and know that you do not need help. I mean, I guess if you're licking lacquer-based paints, then there's probably a problem there. But these are non-toxic acrylics. They're, plastic? Okay. As I do more of this snakebite leather over the silver, it's growing on me. I like it. It looks good. Not the worst choice. Looks fine to me. All right, so we've got the 6 panels painted. We've got the 3 little things on the bottom. I'm assuming are the source of his levitation powers. Let's hit this feller right here. And then all these little keystone bits. I don't think it's quite a keystone pattern, is it? No, keystone is more like Greco. Started to say Greco-Roman, but I don't think it's Roman. I think it's more like, I'm gonna say Crete or Minotian art. Lucas Labs, gotta get it done in time. Yeah, gotta get it done in time, indeed. And, well, in time was, time has passed for it to be on time. So now late is on time. I am absolutely the worst about getting projects done. I form these timelines in my head that are perfectly reasonable, and then like so much life happens in between. One cannot prepare for poor mental health days. Keystone is the big one at the top of an arch. Oh, that's right. Is it not also like the like P-shaped repeating pattern? Come up with 100 ideas, then life gets in the way. Yeah, it's a shame. I definitely predict things will be much more smooth sailing once I'm done with class. This is senior year of my bachelor's degree, after all. You know, who'd have thought that the college's university actually expects you to do a little bit of work. In fact, when I'm done with the stream tonight, I need to furiously smash out type up a written response to this week's reading and finalize a presentation class tomorrow, and then manage to get enough sleep so that I'm not falling asleep in class tomorrow. It's awesome. I'm so burnt out of school. It's I've taken a little too long to complete this degree. Took a few extra semesters to take advantage of some opportunities while I was still at City College. So I'm 5.5 years into a 4-year degree. I think that's right. Started in fall of 2017. That sounds right. So 6 years? That's fine. Knowledge is power, they say. Knowledge is actually debt. Unless you're self-taught. Okay, so I've gone around this feller. I think the gold bits look alright. They look passable. They look shiny. I'll highlight them up with the Auric Armor Gold, I think, when they dry out. And let's see what they look like on this fella here. See, I wanted to quit school before I even graduated high school because I was so bored and tired. Yeah. I get that. I kind of checked out mentally senior year of high school, and I wanted to take a break afterwards. But I graduated high school at 16, so I didn't have a choice but to continue. And my dad was like, "No, you need to go to college." So I did. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to class. And I kind of just phoned it in until I turned 18 and then dropped out. And here I am now in my 30s, going after school again. Definitely a much better experience at my level of chill as compared to being a teenager trying to take college classes. Hindsight 2023, it was good that I finished school, and despite how much I hated it, it was well worth the time. Yeah. I think so. I think it largely depends on what you're going after, I guess. Like, I'm chasing after a degree that is going to have no immediate impact on any type of monetary gain, and I've spent a lot of money to get it, but learned a lot of artistic knowledge in the pursuit of this degree. Funny enough, I really appreciate the art history that I've taken at this point. I didn't give two shits. Could not care less about art history, and it was required for my associates. So I ended up taking 3 semesters of Western art history, all with the same professor. So like the timeline from Stone Age art all the way to pop art or so, like the start of modern art, is really awesome. Really cool to see how art grew and was influenced by certain movements in certain regions and certain political decisions. And now I took a semester of Latino art history. So like Central and South American art through, through the foundations of indigenous art on through colonization and beyond into modern stuff. Of course, that was a lot combined into one semester. It was definitely a lot of reading. Our history is very fun, but I just love history. My favorite time for art is the Renaissance. Yeah, I agree as well. I think it's really neat how Western art had this whole how do I describe this? Like art was progressing at a certain pace, basically all the way up to the Greek masters, and then the Romans wanted to emulate that, so they were still kind of on that path, emulating the old masters' sculptures and whatnot. And then towards the end of the Roman Empire, you start to see this shift with Constantine to Christian art, and they developed this idea that mankind couldn't create, and there was also this association of realism with pagan practices. So you have this departing from realism, and it's a shame too, because like Roman artists were on the edge of kind of like cracking the code and unlocking perspective, and then everything shifts to this like, no, you can't do realism. And to see art kind of go from on the cusp of realism to this interpretive art, and then slowly claw its way back towards realism through the Renaissance, is pretty cool. I kind of wish I would have taken the opportunity and done a little bit of Eastern art history, because I really don't know much there. I know a bit about like the Japanese woodblock prints, for instance, but like that's it. That's really about all the influence I have there. There might be time though, if I go after a master's program or something. Art and architecture regresses in the Middle Ages. It's a neat thing to see. Yeah, it's wild how like I could broadly say religion, but because it is religion that did that, but like the zeitgeist of the time, the social undercurrent and understanding of the world, societal norms, like all these things affect the art. in a profound way. It's really cool to see. All right, so we're just about done with the snakebite leather, and it's looking better than I thought it was going to. I was a little concerned with that first panel that it was going to look drab and crap, but I'm glad I stuck it through because it is basically doing what I wanted it to. We're using a translucent color to take our super bright silver and turn it into a different tone while preserving the brightness of the silver, which I guess isn't too far off of what you do if you're mixing up a metallic paint anyways. Okay. Looks good to me. Only Eastern art history I know I got from Kenshin. I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest. It's partially religion, but partially also because society regressed in many ways at that time from what had been in Greece and the height of Rome. Yeah, that's kind of the tipping point into that deep regression for years and years and years. It took a long time to recover. And, I mean, hell, we're still seeing some aspects of that to this day. Although, you know, now everything is art. Look at that whole thing with the... Was it the guy taped the banana to the wall? Kenshi is a very wacky game. Oh, yes. Where lots of things kill you. Kenshi the game. I am aware of Kenshi. I watched Ambiguous Amphibian play it, I think. Early Meiji era sword fantasy anime. Third person adventure RPG. Yeah. Never played it. It looked neat. Samurai Champloo. There's another thing I'm aware of there, but I've never seen. Alright, so I forgot to show my gold to the camera. So we're going to do that first. Oops. 8:24. Making decent time. Not as far along as I'd like, that's for sure. Ideally, I'd have this painted and finished tonight. But I think what's going to happen is I'm going to call this stream after like, I don't know, 3 hours, 3.5. Give myself enough time to do that last little bit of homework and then still get some sleep. But I mean, you know, what's sleep? Who needs sleep? You know, 4 hours is enough, right? Either way, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to end up painting tomorrow. And now whether or not I stream it, I'm not sure. Might just do a hangout in the Discord or something. Not really sure yet. I mean, this is kind of a hangout at this level, the size of the channel right now, but like I can't see what y'all are working on because I don't really have a good way to stop and check the Discord. So we're going to take our 3.0 round brush and use it to apply a little bit of this gold. And we're just highlighting the raised bits, kind of focusing it on the corners, on the upper edges of stuff. Trying to not screw up too bad. You know, I think it might be time for a new brush, maybe. Let's try out this brand new, yeah. So I just recommended these brushes to a friend and realized that it was not the brush set that I had bought before. So I got this Princeton Art and Brush Co. value set number 10 off of Amazon. Got it for $10. I think it was like $9.95. It's all rounds, and it comes with a 1, 2, a 4, a 6, and a 3/0 liner. And I think we're gonna try it out. We're gonna get out this here one, I think. And I really like these ones. They're golden Tacklon, so, you know, cruelty free. At least cruelty to animals free. I'm sure people suffered in the producing of these. At least financially suffered. Since they're sourced from, where were these made? India? I have to presume that the people who worked on these were underpaid. So, I mean, you know, what is actually cruelty-free? It's suffering-free in this world. But the thing is, like, I'm kind of a believer that there's no, like, actual humane way to kill something. Like, killing itself is not humane. So in that regard, I don't use natural fiber brushes. As you know, getting sable is particularly not nice. So for that, I have discovered, not that I'm trying to crusade here, because I'm not. Do what you will. You know, this is just my personal stance. What I am getting at is golden Tacklon is a really great material that works really well for these synthetic brushes. The flip side is they degrade very quickly, and you have to buy a whole bunch of them. But I've been very pleased with Princeton Art and Brush Co. Cheap, very cheap. Good brushes. They break down, and then they're cheap enough I can replace them readily. So, showing to the camera that I'm using this here Princeton Select round number 1. I need something a little sharper than that 2 and with a fresh tip, so as to get some precision application. And we're just gonna hit these upper edges of the gold. Give them a little more luster. Give them a little more dimensionality. And this should compensate for the whole brown quality that the snakebite leather ended up giving the gold. A little bit of variety on them. Wondering if I should dry brush this. instead. What about horsehair? Haven't actually tried horsehair brushes. I generally assume that they are not as great quality and are probably better suited for large brushes. So I don't know. I'm not speaking from a place of experience there. I know that sable is the go-to, and the obtaining of fur from fur-bearing animals is especially not nice. Unfortunately, a lot of these standards of practice come from the scale, which we demand things as a society. I mean, even something like meat production, right? Like, you or your family or like a local farmer raising their cattle, and then, you take Bessie out back and put a bullet between her eyes, and it is a lot better than what actually goes on. But again, I'm not here to crusade or to try and change people's opinions. I was once that person, and now I am no longer of that stance. It's just a line in the sand I don't want to cross. Oh yeah, this little bit of auric armor is really making these gold bits pop out, giving them a little more dimensionality, a little more luster. All them good things you want in your metallics. We can just do it without, mucking up the details too much. They're definitely for large brushes. I think the smallest horse brushes are like 1/4 inch. They might be worth looking into for a good natural hair brush in making like large scale paintings, which I would love to do some large scale paintings. But man, do you know if canvases are expensive? Canvases are very expensive. Like the big ones, at least. I was shocked. It's actually discussing with some buddies in Discord about trying to get a canvas to do a big painting for this art project. And I was utterly floored at how expensive like a big canvas was. Not cheap. Not cheap at all. Alright, so we get some gold there. Get a little gold on this thing too. Again, I'm trying to treat this like a highlight rather than the color I'm actually painting it. So, kind of focusing it on the uppermost facing edges. And then a little bit on the bottom for that reflected light. Now, can I get these things? Let's see. How's that? Is it focusing at all? It's trying. I think I'm going to try to go for the lines that are more parallel with the ground on these. Yeah. Look decent. Try to do it without making too many errors as well. Hey, this little skinky feller's coming along. Well, his base is. I think that looks pretty good now. I don't know how well it's showing up on the webcam, but what I'm seeing in real life and through the cell phone camera, I'm happy with. Don't feather down great though, that's for sure. Let's see what we can do here. I think I missed some of the snakebite leather right here on the underside of that. Trying to mix that in right now. All right. Okay. Get this out of the way. What we got next? That's one set of charms done. The spike here just kind of looks brown, so I'm going to favor a little more of this stuff on it. All right, on to the other side. Again, we want to hit these upper edges. I cannot believe how much work this little skink has turned into. Is the price justified? Probably not. Does the price correlate with the amount of work it's going to take to finish it? Yeah, absolutely. See a little bit more silver there that I missed. Let's fix that real quick like. Work on the back while that dries. Just same deal as before. Remove a good amount of paint from the brush, kind of run it sideways along the edges. Get a nice highlight on there. Same deal here. Highlight them edges. Just like any other color. Try to get these little rings. And then we got one more little ring right here. According to science, correlation is not causation. Oh yeah. I think understanding the difference between correlation and causation is a problem. The failure to understand that difference happens a lot in various theaters of discourse in our modern world, especially online. Okay. I am pleased with the gold. When I hold it out at this distance, it glints in the light. Looks pretty good. It's good enough. And now I want to continue doing the same thing. Only this time we're going to work on the little skinkus, the lad. Same deal. I'm going to grab our gold paint and hit them edges. Hit them edges. There's these like notches, so we're gonna hit the top facing of each individual notch. And then all the like thick bands are just gonna get painted straight. Auric armor gold. I ain't got no time to worry about highlighting them. Okay. Same deal here. Got like a band at the bottom. It'll be straight gold, and then we're gonna hit the edge. Put a little gold on the individual details. And then you can see the back of the staff a little bit here. I'm not going to do a lot of work on it. Just a little bit there and there. That's it. A hint of that same gold. Same deal here. All bands just get straight gold. And then I'm wondering what's the best approach here on the spinny doodads. What about like these edges for sure? And then we'll just kind of break up the highlights on it. So like that top edge very obviously should get a full thing of gold, but then this side should probably get like a few dots of the gold. The sphere. We'll get the top facing portion. This edge right here, maybe 2/3 of it highlighted, and then a break. And then same on the bottom edge, just a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit. Oops. These little boxes on the side are going to get the top bit highlighted. If I could do it without getting the gold paint inside of the rim. There we go. These little spiky bits, definitely just solid gold. I might repaint them whatever color the lightning bolts are going to be. And there's another little sphere. That sphere is going to get a touch at the top. Okay. Now we'll repeat that process on the back end. So, tippy top, full gold. Down the side. On the top. I see some fun Discord notifications I need to check out. Alright, let's see if we can't do the same here. About 2/3 of it, and then a break, and a little bit more right there. And then the bottom, top third, a break, and then a little bit more down there. This one gets about 30%. This one gets a little bit in the center, and that's it. And then we're going to continue that kind of shape here, and then remove the spot where we put too much. And little spinny boy in the middle, we're going to edge highlight proper. Yeah. Edge highlight it proper. I think it's good enough. Like, there's some variation of tone on it. It's not just one flat gold. It's kind of got a faux NMM style pattern on it. That was my nightly progress report. Again, my desk is covered in curing epoxy. Oh yeah, sick. I'll check it out here in a bit. Okay, so we're almost done with this gold here. Gonna do the kind of earringy style pieces. Little edge highlight on them. I don't think I'm even gonna worry about painting the back of them at all, and just leave them this contrast color, because they're gonna be, you know, not the focal point of the model. Now, the gold on the face, kind of want to follow these like quasi brow ridge type edges, I think. And then across the tip, as if it were a lizard. And then we'll paint up these little triangles. But I think this whole top right here should stay the darker tone. And then we'll have the gold, the brighter gold coming down from here towards that spot. But not actually there. Edges here. Edges of the circle. Tell you, it is so hard to apply little bits of metallic paint. We're going to paint the triangles that are sticking upwards. All right. And then try to hit a few little bits on the chest piece. Less is more because this is like, you know, buried behind the focal point. So I think again we'll focus on the triangles that are upwards facing. There we go. A little bit of variation. Suddenly I'm in love with my accidental slugs. Well, happy accidents do happen at the hobby desk. Despite my claiming exactly the opposite of that earlier. Too good. Alright, so hey, gold. We want a little bit of gold now on this orbamajig. And it's got these like trenches running along it, so they're gonna get highlighted. The raised bits are just in a straight band across it. I almost regret not painting it gray and making it look like a tiny Death Star. That would have been fun. And that's usually the kind of crap I try to pull with my Infinity Army. Fun little references in there. Alright. He's got gold stuff. We want to highlight this bracelet. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit on this thing. I think maybe this sharp edge sticks out enough to warrant some light. Maybe this actually does too, right here, behind the headdress, behind the feathers. And I think with that, I am pretty much satisfied with the gold. I see a little spot I'd like to get some more of the snakebite leather into. Try to very carefully do that. There we go. Okay. What's next to bring this thing closer to completion? We need to paint the little stone. We need to paint all the green work again. So I think that's what we're going to do next, is work on this green. And we could probably get away with painting it I'm tempted to hit it with the warp lightning again, honestly. Very tempted to hit it with the warp lightning again. I think I'm gonna. And in fact, I'm not gonna film that because I've already done it on film. So to save time, we're just going to jump right back to the warp lightning instead of filming it. Just trying to pick up tiny beads with sticky epoxy and snag 2 by mistake. Instant mollusk. Slugs and shelled boys. And I'll definitely take a peek when we wrap up here. I need a better setup, I think, for operating this computer. Unfortunately, my stream computer here is run off of this little... Let's see if I can't... Can I aim this over at the thing? It's just a tiny little 7-inch monitor that I'm watching things on. So it's quite hard to actually use it like a computer. Clean this brush out. All right. Let's start redeveloping our green tones, and then I'll film painting them with the moot green highlights. Where are we sitting at now, time-wise? 8:58. Been at this 3 hours. I'm going to need to find a stopping point soon. I'm wondering if I could get away with another 6 p.m. tomorrow, or if doing this every day like this is a little too much. But we're almost done. So close to done. I don't know, I wonder how folks feel about streaming more often. Like, consistently, multiple days a week. Is it generally better, or is it better to do like, I don't know, once a week on a schedule? I have to wonder. Do a little research on it, maybe. Although, honestly, this project in particular kind of seems like it should be streamed, because it's y'all's choice. It was y'all's vote that decided on this project. I know which one I wanted to do from that list, and y'all didn't vote for it, so I bought it. I bought it with my own funds, or I guess they're both with my own funds. I bought it to be its own project, despite the community agreeance that Skink was best. Admittedly, as I'm working on this thing, it is more and more fun. It's a fun little project. Go drive around on Saturday after Thanksgiving. There will be plenty of free displays. Ooh. I wonder how true that'll hold for all the like suburbs of SF. So I'm a little wary of free stuff in the Bay Area, to be honest. I think I mentioned it before in one stream. Someone had put out this was years ago, circa like, I don't know, 2010 or something. but someone had put out this awesome painting. And I picked it up, and I was like, I gotta have that. It was fantastic. And it ended up having bed bugs in it. And it was a nightmare to get rid of. Although, I imagine with electronics, that's less of a concern. Because bed bugs would want to be in stuff that's near where you sleep or whatever. Not metal, not plastic. But, you know, after the nightmare that I went through getting rid of those, I've been a little wary about picking up free stuff ever since. That whole experience left me with scarring, with trauma. I still, like, I'm hypersensitive to seeing little dots move around. I notice it a lot when I get fruit flies in the house. Just like hyper aware of them. Yeah, it was when I was building my desk at the fire chief toss. Oh yes, the hobby desk project. I recall now. Jeez, what stream was that? You know, this is the 15th paint stream I've done on the channel now. Looking back. I know I've done more streams, like with the workflow ones. Although they generally don't seem to be what folks are after, so I don't do them as often. But the paint streams, I am so pleased that y'all want to see what's going on here in the bullshit corner. And it's always a blast to come in here and chat with y'all. And we've done it 15 times now. I did not set out to stream. First Hunchback, yes. Yes, yes. How many we did 3 or 4 Hunchback episodes. Can't remember. Okay, so we're recovering the green on these leaves. I need to recover it on these vines as well. Is coming along. Still the question of the crystal on the staff and the lightning around the crystal. It needs to be contrasty. Thinking maybe blue. Blue over a deep purple gem, maybe. I also see there's like this little bit of detail right here coming off of the bottom. And I think I'm going to treat that the same way as whatever I do for the lightning. Some kind of raw, lizardy powered, levitating our lizard wizard. But honestly, I think we're going to push this project back one more day. I think I'm going to stream same time tomorrow after class once I get home. because I do have a little bit of homework I need to do tonight for tomorrow's class. And I'm losing my focus a little here. So, just about got this green done and recovered all the little vines. And I think right after that, we'll call it for the evening. We'll have this model done, the next one. We can do the lightning and the power and the stone and the basing. And I think, I'm pretty sure I can be done with this model in 3 more hours. And then that'll put me on the edge, flying by the seat of my pants for Friday and hopefully just Friday editing, but probably Friday and Saturday editing, and get this thing out ASAP. Gotta talk with Pega when we actually want to release it. Do I want to hit this with green again? Yes, I do. We want the bigger brush. Do a second layer of green on this feller and recover the spots that went gray with the dry brush. All right, so good progress today. It's slow going. GW models, lots of details. Horticulus Slimex is probably going to be about the same, but Lord knows when I'll actually find time to paint that. Got some fun projects after this as well, and then I've got footage for multiple projects, so if I could just like catch a moment to breathe with my classes and spend some serious time editing, I'll have some back-to-back videos coming out, namely with I've got Octavia, I filmed painting Moriarty, and I filmed the Hunchbacks, and yeah, we'll get some more stuff coming out for y'all soon. In the meantime, let's take a peek here at what's going on. Skink is very detailed and shiny gold. Just about done. Skink just needs the little lightning done. The throne, however, needs still quite a bit of work. We need to do all the foliage, which we're going to go, I think, Warboss green through moot green. Might even just go moot green shaded down with the contrast color. We need to get the bone color on these spikes. And then there's all these little details. And I'm really thinking of doing those in like a obsidian kind of color. I think it'll look really good. And then whatever we do for the lightning will also go here. We'll hit the base with a little bit of texture, and it'll be done next stream. So gonna set up for another stream tomorrow, same time, same place, 6 p.m. PST. We might run tomorrow's a little later because my classes are Monday through Thursday. So we will get this done tomorrow. Be back right here in the corner. As always, I want to thank y'all for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun chatting with folks. If you found this video through the algorithm, I'm looking at doing these on a more regular schedule. If you like what you see, keep an eye out for new video content, because that's really the main focus of the channel. Let's take a peek at our skink poll. Coming in at top with 38% is the blue-tailed skink. People like the blue-tailed. And we got 25% for the rainbow skink, as well as the little brown skink, and 12% on the broadhead skink. I personally personally like the little brown one. Heck yeah, it was fun. Yeah, thanks for stopping by another Nate. I'm about to head over to Discord and check out your post. If you found this through the algorithm and want to join up in the Discord, check out the description down below. There's a link that'll get you over there if you want to see what's going on as well. We'd love to have you there. We talk all kinds of nonsense, whether battletech or other games. Of course, yeah, of course, as always, I want y'all to remember to be happy while you're painting, and remember that showing up and contributing to community events like hobby hangouts makes me happy while I'm painting. In any case, I've been Cameron on behalf of Country Fried Minis. This is the Bullshit Corner, and thank y'all for stopping by. Catch y'all around next time. Well, I'm on the wrong screen here. Let's close this down, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Well, tomorrow. See you later.